Hey everybody, Calvin here. I'm going to be doing a deep dive today into silver, gold, oil, the national debt. It's going to be an all-encompassing thing. So this is going to be a longer video, maybe 20 minutes. I'm going to try to make it a little bit less than that. But either way, if you're watching it today, today is the 21st. Wow, March 21st, 9:33 in the morning here in northern Illinois. Really beautiful day. You can see the sun kind of shining through the window. I want to just talk about this. I make a lot of shorts, but every now and then I want to make a long video just because there's a lot more information that can be conveyed and hopefully it makes sense. And remember, I'm not a finance professional. However, I've been doing this stuff for a long time on a personal level. I'm no millionaire. I am just trying to, get by like everybody else. However, I do have numerous different investments and different things, whether it's Lego products. I know it sounds silly, but there's some that's paid off. Shoes, precious metals, stocks, music equipment. There's, things that I do have that I at least try to retain my value of those products because of the way the dollar is decreasing in value. So if you look at silver prices today, well, technically, this is yesterday, Friday the 20th. Silver fell about $3.50. And over the course of 5 days, so I woke up, I think it was sometime on the, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock, I forgot. I was kind of sleeping in that day. And I woke up and saw that silver was, in the mid 70s. And then when I woke up, it was around 68 or 69. It really fell. And so I made it quick short because there was a recovery period that day. It fell and then it kind of recovered, but this is a clear trend line down. And over the past month, it's fallen about $19.50. And in the last 6 months, it's still up about 24 bucks. Now remember, just going back to September of 2025, it was $44 an ounce. And now we're at about $69.66 an ounce. And that's still a huge run up. Remember, this is for an ounce, okay? And so I still believe that there is going to be quite a fall. Remember, I'm not a finance professional. I do this on my own, just trying to provide guidance. Whoever watches this, either soon or in the distant future, I just like it for the record because you never know what may turn out down the road. Plus, I enjoy talking about this stuff and learning about it. So, as you see over the last 5 years, $67.81 an ounce. And over the last 5 years, a majority of that has been this $41 run up. And actually, over the last year, almost half of this price is just this. And then literally in the last, several months, 4 or 5 months. So, whereas I mean, you can look at this chart going way back. There was a few run ups here and there, but then there was this long leveling out for a long amount of time. So basically, where is it going to go? Well, that's a complicated question. Let's go to gold. Gold is finally falling. It was, man, at $5,600 an ounce. I still think the run up will go. I still think it'll start to increase. But as you can see, there's a huge run up. I mean, to $3,000 on March 26th, and then up to about well over 5 grand. Um, March 2025. Sorry. So about a year, there's about $2,500 run up. 5 years, I mean, there you go. It's once again up and to the right, up and to the right. And these are always so it kind of followed the same thing that silver did. There's a long period of just kind of back and forth, back and forth. And people were even talking about it here, even when COVID hit. Is this the top? Is gold going to go any higher? Is this where it bottoms out or tops out? It's going to decrease. And then you just saw this huge increase. This to me speaks of speculation. So I just want to drink some coffee. Now, oil prices. A lot of talk in the news. Got some angry guys down here. Um, 5 days, it's only moved 50 cents. Last month, about $32. Last 6 months, 36. So as you can see, basically once, here in the United States, the president decided, hey, it's a good idea. Let's start bombing Iran. Just Strait of Hormuz. Next thing you know, there's oil prices are going to be affected. Now, we don't receive from what I remember, too much oil, if any, out of that area. But the thing is, a lot of other countries do. Japan, China, some others as well, India, and that's a problem. So to shut down that strait and not have oil going and bombing a bunch of energy facilities, that's going to be the issue. And so the thing is, I think what's happening right now is that with the crash, money's just transferring. The speculators are moving to something else. Right now, it's oil. There was all this fear that it was going to go up to $150 a barrel, $200. The fear articles are nonstop. Okay, it's easy to produce them. It's easy to make them, and then plaster them all over the Google. But the thing is, you just got to kind of watch out. I mean, next thing you know, see it's leveling out, 50 cents. Last day, $2.50. Prices of gas are going up. That sucks. But once again, it's up and to the right kind of scenario. Maybe something's going to resolve. However, never know what's going to happen over this weekend. So we might wake up on Monday and someone decides to bomb another facility and it just restarts everything. So it's always hard to say. Not too worried about it. Gas prices suck. What I think is happening is there's a run up. There was a run up with the silver here. The speculators moved into this area, sold it all off, and now people are moving into oil futures, and whatnot. So I just Googled this. Will silver continue to fall? Of course, AI has its thing. Bunch of fear articles, people pointing to, necklaces, this guy, this person, all these like scary looking photos. See all this. Silver will most likely continue to fall. How far? I don't know. I'm guessing that what's going to happen is it'll probably go down to, I'd say around the 50, 60 level. Like if it continues this way, this is a falling off the cliff kind of thing. And there's no real support. I think it's just gonna continue. I think it to say it's reasonable that it goes into the low 50s, maybe high 40s is probably not unheard of. In fact, that would kind of like restart this area right here, where it just kind of like levels out, goes back to the 40s and 50s, and then just resumes the upward trend over time. Remember, silver should not be making these huge moves. Gold, yeah, I get it. There's more of it. It's worth more per ounce. So these huge moves, I'm totally on board with. I think it's going to continue. And the thing is, what I see here, it's doing the same exact thing silver's doing. I think it's going to fall maybe into the 4 grand level, maybe a little bit lower, going to level out, and then it's going to resume the upward trend. Why do I think that? Well, a couple things. Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, we got Jerome Powell, who's the current chairman. Now, Trump in the end of January nominated a guy named Kevin Warsh. I think he was not that likely to be chosen. They're trying to choose somebody else, or there's a lot of speculation with somebody else, and then Warsh was not the expected person. So there was a huge run up, buy the rumor, kind of sell the news sort of thing in January when it occurred, like actually right around here. And then once it kind of turned out to be him, there was a fall because Trump has been very adamant about lower interest rates. But why would he pick someone who literally almost may do the opposite, if not? And so they're talking about possibly cutting rates, only one. They forecast. Just because they forecast doesn't mean it's going to happen. However, now, I listen to a lot of CNBC, watch CNBC, follow a lot of finance. They're talking about possible rate increases. All I can tell you is if the rates, the Federal Reserve rate increases, silver and gold will fall, and they'll probably fall very, very much. Like, I mean, I'm saying like 50s, probably into the 40s or 30s, because if they keep lowering interest rates, that's going to cause this to continue. So we have $39 trillion in debt. Chances are our U.S. total debt right here, it's $107 trillion. This is how much interest is being paid. Excuse me, I'm getting allergies over here now with the recent weather shift. And so $6 trillion in interest. This is money. This is money paid just to service the interest on the debt. That's it. It's literally going to nothing. $6 trillion. And If this continues, if they lower the interest rate, this is only going to balloon. The value of the dollar is going to go down. Therefore, precious metals will go up. If someone comes in, and I actually think that's a good idea, you raise the interest rates. This is what happened back in the late 70s, early 80s. I mean, the interest rate was damn near 20 to 22, 24%, very, very high because inflation was out of control. And Jimmy Carter gets blamed for that, but actually, Richard Nixon, if you remember him, so if I look up Richard Nixon, he was the guy who essentially closing gold window. So basically, right here in 1971, the temporary suspension of the dollar's convertibility into gold for foreign governments, also known as closing the gold window. However, most things with government are not temporary. This was a, this was sort of something that's it's still true. We're a fiat currency. They can still go out and buy gold, but we're not backing it by gold. And this is when there was a huge run up in the price of silver and gold. And I actually think he is what contributed to the inflation in the late 70s. A lot of things that presidents do, some are immediate, but a lot of the effects are felt post presidency, which is exactly what will happen with Trump and then whoever comes after, and so on and so on. So if this guy, chances are he's going to keep rates the same until he's gone. And then when Kevin Warsh comes in, if he's confirmed or however that process goes, I don't know. I don't really care. Chances are he will be. Um, if he comes in and says, you know what, I'm going to keep the rate steady, so then he's going to start getting insulted by the president. And then if he raises them, man, this downward trend is going to continue like for a long time. So I do think silver, unless something crazy happens, and in fact, if something crazy does happen in the Middle East, people are going to pile into dollars, and the fall will continue. So I do think we're sort of that we had the good times. If he sold at the near top, or whatever, fantastic. I'm glad you made money. Seriously, if you're holding just to have it, like me, oh well, whatever. Chances are, if I was to go to a dealer and try to sell my silver coins anyway, they wouldn't be giving me $115 an ounce. They should probably be giving me a lot less because they know that they probably like, this is a huge run up. So I'm just buying and holding long term. So as far as silver and gold go, will it go up? Yes. It's just a matter of when. I think it'll still decrease a bit. Like I said, I'm looking maybe in the next month, all things holding constant, even the war, silver going down into the low 60s, maybe even the mid 50s. So I'll go over this in some other video. There's a lot of things you're seeing here. Most of these numbers are bad. So let's go to the website. I'm going to compare, and then I got, 13 minutes, and make this another 6 or 7 minutes. And so if you're looking at buying, now this is a site that I use. I haven't used it in a while. They actually condensed this page. There's no more 2-ounce silver coins and some other stuff. It looks like it's like half of what it used to be. But the one thing is, if you look at right here where my mouse is, and the silver spot is on the move, it said $499 or more you need to order in order to get free shipping. It used to be $199. That's why I haven't used this site in a while. So once this changes, because there was delays, there was back orders, and now the price fell a lot. So I think whatever's happening, whatever they're doing, it might be a while, if ever, that they move back down to $199. So Krugerrands, as you can see here, this is a good one. Remember, this is taxed if you live in Illinois. This is the 1985 law. Most places don't tax it. Most of the silver that you buy or precious metals aren't taxed. The Krugerrand is taxed, though, just to let you know. All right, popular pieces to buy. The Philharmonic, and then the one I usually invest the most in is the Canadian Maple Leaf and the American Silver Eagle, wherever that's at. Here we go. So right now we're at about I was gonna say $85 an ounce. Yeah, I'll say 85. So 2026. So if you look at the spot price of silver, Let's go 1 day. 67.81. This is about $17 over the price of 1 ounce, the spot price. So this is a huge run up. This is 17 extra dollars you're paying on top of this. And then if you pay by check or wire, it's an extra $2. If you pay by card, it's an extra, it's like an extra $6. So you're paying $90 for a coin when spot. This is almost $23. I'd say $22 and some change over the spot price. That's a lot. That is a lot right now. Chances are on Monday, this price will be a lot different, probably in the low 80s, maybe high 70s. Because I don't think this site updates in real time. Like others, it's kind of like a day-by-day basis. Maybe there's a specific time that they see the silver price and like, all right, that's it for today. I don't know the inner workings of JM Bullion. Use them a lot. But ever since they changed their free shipping to $1.99 or more, I haven't used them. So here is a site that I'm going to watch silver again this next week before I make any purchases. Is $199 free shipping. Has good reviews. One of the people who watched one of my shorts said they use this site. As you can see here, 2026 American Eagle, $80. So already $4 less. Pay by check, $82. Pay by card, $86. $4 difference right here. You buy a few of these, 4, 8, 12, 4, 8, 12, 16, depending on how many you buy. I mean, people are counting their pennies nowadays, so it's probably smart. So then there's another site, Money Metals. Walking Liberty Silver Round. Let's see, it doesn't say 2026. So you just kind of go through, and you really got, some of these I wouldn't touch. This one I wouldn't touch. This is actually kind of cool. I mean, but some of these, like the Luck of the Irish, nothing against the Shamrock, Irish people, nothing against that. I just wouldn't buy this one. Buy something that's popular, at least starting out. And the rest, if you're just trying to have fun, you're like, hey, I got some extra money, I want to buy this Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer one. But the thing is, if you're really trying to invest and hold in something that's tangible, you want something that people are going to want a lot of. Canadian Maple Leaf, and then the American Silver Eagle. There we go. So here we go, 2026. Click on this. Premium. Oh, this site tells you the premium. If you buy 1 to 9, this is the premium that decreases over time. Your item total $85.78. This is total price each. I don't know if it's going to charge by card. I have to see. There might be a fee down the road, but either way, it's still lower than this one and way lower than this one. And even if you just pay by check, it's still $1 lower. So it's always good to just sort of price shop. Last thing, a couple minutes left. Some people ask about other coins, 90, 40, 35, junk silver, stuff like that. I don't really like to call it junk silver. I think it's kind of cool. I'm going to start possibly buying some of these just because, like, I'll buy my couple silver pieces and then buy a couple of these. I think these are cool to have. Some of these that are kind of like faded, I don't really know. You're not just paying for the price of the silver. However, there's some that are very, very nice. They're like packaged up. Doesn't see. We can buy, and then see. The reason why you have these is $half used to be a certain amount of silver. Even quarters, I believe, at one point, or these quarters used to be at least made of something else. And then after, I think it was the 70s, they started cutting back on the amount of silver and then just did away with it completely. So now you're seeing here, yeah, why is a 50-cent coin worth $55? It's the silver content. And plus, they're actually pretty cool. Some of them have a really nice here. So I wouldn't be opposed to this. It's always good just to have a variety. And see, here you go. Certified piece silvers. Morgan silver. Someone told me in the comments about the Morgan silver. These are pretty cool. They're in packages. Yeah, it's like $85. I might actually start investing in these. I mean, these go back, way back, and they have little certifications on them. And these are like kind of collector things. These are things that people will buy down the road. 1878 to 1904. I mean, this is over 100 years ago. So these are pretty sweet. So I would say, always diversify. Oh, that's actually really clean. into that. So these are cool, but however, if you just want to go OG, silver coins, you know what you're getting in the story. Silver bars. Some people buy bars. Oh, I'm over 20 minutes. Oh well. So some people buy bars. I have bars. I used to get 5 ounce, a lot of 1 ounce. They're great, but I don't really know. I buy them occasionally. I usually stick with the silver coins and go from there. Let's just, for kicks, 1 ounce gold coin. Yeah, here we go. Let's just do a golden kangaroo. $4,600 for this coin. I mean, that's, there you go. And then if you look here, so there's a price, how much you pay by check, and how much you pay by card. It's over a $200 fee on top of this, which is chances are is because they're getting charged something, and so they're just passing it on. So you're $4,600 for just this coin, and if you pay by card, $4,800, not to mention shipping. So it's almost like I'd rather buy a necklace. I feel like necklaces or some other type of jewelry has a better resale value. I mean, I'm sure people always buy this, but gold necklaces, jewelry, really can't go wrong. I wonder if this would be taxed. Chances are it would be. Okay, so there you go. Basically, kind of a rundown. As long as the debt goes up, so precious metals are going to go up over time. We're experiencing a little bit of a fall. I hope it falls more. It's just going to have to because there was such a huge run up. If the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, expect these prices to continue to fall. Not oil prices, gold prices to continue to fall. I mean, just even off a cliff, even. If the Federal Reserve comes in and says, "Hey, we're going to cut rates," expect the price to rise and actually shoot up, because that once again will make the dollar less valuable because there's a lot, it's all about servicing the debt. We have so much debt. So right now, the United States government, the Federal Reserve, we're in a bind. We have a lot of debt, paying a lot of interest. If we raise the interest rate, it's going to have us pay more interest. It'll crash the precious metals, but then it'll stop inflation. And so there's this big conundrum that we're dealing with, and it's just going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But in the end, I think silver and gold, long term, are good bets. Remember, all noise aside, there's a lot of noise to go back and forth. Things will cause you to go swing one way, swing another. Oh, I don't think it's worth buying this. Yeah, you might lose for a little while, but long term, I don't think so. Just because precious metals are needed, people like them. The value of the dollar is eroding, and it will continue unless the government actually makes positive changes, which unfortunately I do not foresee happening anytime soon. So therefore, precious metals are a good bet. Even mining stocks. Sorry, I mean, I'm going to go over time. Might as well go a little bit more. Barrick Mining. So there you go. Barrick Mining, I think it's based in Canada. It's one of them. Yeah, I have this stock. As you can see, it's a mining stock. It is taking the same fall as silver and gold. However, people need precious metals. Newmont, Agnico, Eagle Mines, all of these are solid bets because they're all mining. Just got to read the portfolio a little bit, do the finances. So, all right. So whoever watches this, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. There was a lot of stuff in here. Hopefully you learned something. I didn't really answer many questions. Probably left you with more questions. However, is it now a good time to buy? Possibly. I still haven't bought anything in the last month and a half. Too much of erratic swings. I'm going to see where it goes this next week's. It's up until mid-April. My next order will be mid-April. I think by then, as I said, silver prices are going to probably fall into the mid-50s or low 60s, somewhere around there. Like 55 to 60 is sort of my range. I thought it was going to bounce around 70 to 80, but then once I saw the crash here, I was like, yep, it's going to do it. Now, there might be a recovery. So whenever you watch this, just it's nice to kind of reference it. There might be a recovery on Monday. So Monday is going to be the 23rd, where it kind of goes back up. And then it might go up for a few days. And then it might fall back down. Because usually when it crashes, there's going to have to be some type of rebound. So I think it might bounce back up to the 70s and then continue to fall. But if on Monday this crashes another $5, $10 or whatever it is, that's when I think it's going to be a signal that it's going to head into the 50s. So thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this, and have a great weekend or a great day or whenever you're watching it. Thanks.